This guy is a villain. He sucks. He's a problem. He's a menace to society.
We're rolling in deep.
And he's got to be shut down.
Hello everyone and welcome to Quick Chat with Jay. I like to talk about movies, TV shows, and really anything that interests me. And today I want to take a trip down memory lane back to episode 13 of season 5 of Catfish. We have Neve and Max open up this email from someone named Jamie who's been talking to this guy named Lucas. They've been talking for about like 6 months and it's gotten to the point where she felt the need to reach out to Catfish about this guy.
He was planning on relocating to Portland. Convenient.
Yeah.
He wanted us to be exclusive, and he told me he loved me.
It's the same song and dance with how everything was going so right with the relationship until everything went left. Lucas was telling Jamie how he wanted to move to Portland for her so it'd be easier for them to meet, but every time she asked about it, he'd give some really lame excuse as to why he just couldn't do it.
Things started to get strange.
Here comes the turn.
Lucas supposedly moved to Portland, but he couldn't meet me. I knew something was wrong, and so did my friends. From watching your show, they knew how to do a reverse image search, and that's how I found out Lucas was fake.
I swear, like, the fastest way to check if someone isn't real is to just search the photos on the internet, and I feel like Catfish can't be that smart because it's too easy for people to do this. Because like anybody can find these photos. I mean, it's not like anyone can't. You're literally taking it off from the internet. They're going to find it one way or another. At this point, you're probably wondering like, okay, she knows he's fake. Why is she still talking to him? But she just really wants to figure out who this is and why he's doing what he's doing. And by God, does she find out.
Don't think I'm the only person he's doing this to, because somebody reached out to me who had been talking to Lucas also. She lives in New York. She got a hold of me just based off of the ladies that he was following to let girls know that he's not him.
Whoa.
Also, he talked me into sending him private photos, and I believe that's what he does to everybody.
Wow, this guy.
So Lucas has this thing where he'd friend a lot of women on Facebook, add them, talk to them, become their friend, and then he'd get to a point where he'd ask for their explicit photos, which is just the grossest thing ever. And I know that like is normal for people to send these kind of photos to people they're speaking to who they're romantically interested in, but for him to do this to every woman he's ever come across and that he's met, it just reeks of malicious intent behind asking for those photos.
So are you afraid that if you expose him that he might release some pictures?
It's crossed my mind, but I haven't confronted him about it because I think he has a suspicion that I know that he's not who he said he was. So I could really use your guys' help.
This is a crazy story.
We've got to put an end to this.
Yeah, I think you'd be doing a lot of women a big favor.
Yeah, we need to find him and bust him.
Hold on, coffee break. The birds are loud today. Of course, Neve and Max agreed to help Jamie and they travel to Portland to find out who this mystery guy is. And while they're in Jamie's house, she's giving him a tour, but we get to a room where one of these things are not like the other.
Wait a second. Hold on. What? One thing doesn't belong in this room.
So this is the fireman's pole.
Fireman's pole.
Look at it, he's done this before.
Wow.
Look at
I swear to y'all, I would have been so upset but did not add that, because why was Neve so good at doing that? Like, is there something we need to know? Because that doesn't seem normal for him to just know how to work it like that. Before completely digging into this case, Jamie explains why she was so interested in Lucas and what made her want to meet him.
You don't have a problem meeting guys.
Well, I guess I don't necessarily have a problem meeting guys. It's just in my past relationships. Being a mom was a problem. And being a dancer is a problem. So
I see your predicament. You meet this guy and you slowly let him know these things and, you know, miraculously he's cool with it all.
yeah, Lucas just made, everything a little bit easier. The kid thing didn't bother him. He said he had worked in a daycare before.
Perfect.
Even though she met her dream guy, she always just felt that things weren't exactly right. As mentioned before, he would always have excuses, and it wasn't until one night when Jamie's friends told Lucas that they just don't believe he is who he says that he is, and to prove it to them.
One night, had a couple cocktails, come home. My friends were here that night, and I'm like, let's call Lucas. They're like, well, Lucas, we don't believe you're you. So send us a Snapchat of your face holding one finger up with our names written on a piece of paper.
Lucas obliged and decided to send a snap of this picture, but her friends still were convinced that that was actually him. So, as mentioned earlier, they decided, okay, well, let's just go ahead and reverse image search this photo.
One of my friends was like, I bet you it's photoshopped. So she did a reverse image search. So the next picture I'm gonna show you, you're gonna look pretty similar. There we go.
Ah. Look at the shadow where the fingers are.
Wow.
Like, that's dedication. That's where it's next level.
Okay, so 2 things we know about Lucas so far. He is a sleazy pic collector, and he is scarily good at Photoshop. I mean, do you know how intentional you have to be to Photoshop something like that? Like, this man sat down, had several times to think about this, and to think about actually just going ahead and revealing that, yeah, this isn't me, but didn't, and decided to just go ahead and send this picture to keep up a lie. No joke. Seriously. It is scary to do this much work just to keep up a lie. I don't think I could ever achieve that level of deception. I don't know whether to be impressed or to be terrified about that. Remember how I said catfish are like kind of stupid? Okay, so thanks to this photo, Jamie's friends were able to find out who the guy was who was in the photos, and it led back to this guy named Trey.
Trey had a lot more photos on his Instagram, and not only that, but in that same day, a girl contacted me. Her name's Ursula. And she says, beware of the scammer, Lucas. He's pretending to be somebody he's not, and he's developing relationships with other women.
Now we have Ursula who enters the picture, and she tells us about her experience with Lucas.
We met off Tinder. He told me he was living in Missouri, and then he told me he was moving to New York City for an internship at a technology company in New York.
Yeah.
And then I basically found out that he's not who he really is because I booked a flight to Missouri, so he came clean.
Jamie sent him pictures, some of them nudes. Did you ever send him similar?
Yes, I did send him intimate photos and videos.
Basically, he told her the same story, but eventually he came clean to Ursula when she said that she'd come meet him in Missouri where he said he was at the time. I guess Lucas found a method that worked because it was the same thing with every woman, and it didn't stop with Ursula. He'd get comfortable with these women, ask for their explicit photos, and then after that, he would block them. There's still more to unpack with Lucas, but it's just so disgusting so far. Luckily, before Lucas blocked Ursula, she had this brilliant idea that led to her and Jamie crossing paths.
Okay, so how did you find out about all these other girls?
When he told me that he's not the guy in the pictures, I screenshotted some of the girls that were following him, and then I reached out to them. That's how I found Jamie.
Neve asked Ursula if she could be willing to join them in confronting Lucas to really send him a message, and I am so glad that she agreed to do it. As they begin searching for Lucas, they look up his phone number, and that leads them to a name, Zach. So now they know who the name of this guy is, but now they have to search through the sea of photos of these other guys named Zach.
Facebook search for Zach in St. Louis.
Yeah. Whoa, we got some Zachs.
Bunch of faceless.
Which is weird, right? That there's 4 faceless accounts.
That is until Jamie remembers a little fun fact about Zach.
Oh, we gotta narrow this down. What?
Person I talked to on the phone is obsessed with Lord. Yeah.
So wait, so Lucas was obsessed with Lord.
I guess we talked about music.
He told you he was a fan of the singer Lord?
Yeah.
This could be the lead we're looking for.
I can't believe, of all things, this is what gets him pinned down, is liking Lord. Don't get me wrong, I love some Lord too. I can't wait for the next album, but I truly can't believe this is the thing that led him to find out exactly who he is. Who knew she would be our Lord and Savior for pinning down who this catfish was?
What are the chances? He likes Lord, he's from Missouri.
All signs point to this guy. I mean, what if it is this guy?
It's just so gross. I'm so wrong. I'm just so upset.
I really do feel bad for Jamie because we have this guy over here who believes he's Mr. Mastermind, and really he's just a loser who thinks it's appropriate to do things like this. To catch a catfish, you have to behave like a catfish. Neve and Max feel that Zach won't talk to them if they were to reach out to him as himself, so they hatch up a little plan to hook him into conversing with them.
I want to see his account. The problem is, he blocks the girls we've spoken to.
I see where you're going. Let's bait him into friending us.
Yes,
Let's use someone from the crew.
exactly. We're not catfishing him. We just want to get.
We need to get a man behind enemy lines.
That's
or
right.
one man.
Luckily, the women on this crew were okay with the plan and took it for their team, because if it were me, you couldn't pay me $1 million to speak to this man.
So we're thinking, if the ladies of the crew are willing to try following him, hopefully he'll accept someone.
So what if he messages me back? What do I say?
Just keep it casual, just like, oh yeah.
I thought you looked interesting.
Yeah, we can do it.
Okay.
Great.
Zach being Zach, he accepts the follow request, and they see that he's been pretty active on this account as of recent, and he's following nothing but a bunch of women.
Did he accept?
He accepted.
He accepted.
Woo!
How long did it take?
Like 20 minutes.
All right, let's see.
We're in.
So, Paige is obviously very much up. And the last picture that he posted was 17 hours ago.
Let's go see who he's following.
All women. I have not seen a single guy yet.
This is real pathetic. Every
This guy
second
is.
we
Let's
let
say.
him up there, he is seducing some poor woman from across the country.
And before they could really dive deep into his account, Ursula says that she's in Portland and ready to join the search. Once again, it shared how dedicated Zach was to the lie of being Lucas.
How does someone like this convince you that they're real? I mean, he must have done a pretty good job.
Oh, he did a really great job. He sent me a video on Snapchat. It was just believable.
What was in the video?
It was just of him walking out of a building, and you can see his face clearly
Right.
of the guy in the pictures. I didn't know you can do anything with Snapchat like that.
Well, there are third-party apps that you can use to upload photos.
Yeah, but that was pretty convincing to me. That was convincing enough.
One thing that comes to mind is if the other guy who was in the photos actually knew any of this was happening. But then again, I mean, he has to know something has been going on, because it's way too easy to track those photos and to find his real account. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that Neve and Max didn't reach out to Trey to let him know this has been going on, or to at least see if he knew something about this already. Because if I were Trey, and once I knew this was happening, I would have put a lawsuit on Zach's ass, since he wants to play so much. He thinks he's funny, I can show him that I can be hilarious. As they bring Ursula up to speed, she instantly recognizes who Zach is and even pulls out her computer to verify.
We found a page. Could this be him?
Wait,
Whoa.
I feel like I've seen that before. And he tells me I'm not the guy in the pictures. I'm like, show me proof, like prove it to me. So he sent me a picture.
That is him.
Oh man,
That's definitely the same guy.
Yeah.
So we got our guy.
And I have to say, I love when someone is just really prepared like that, especially to take a person down like this. To further bring home how disgusting this guy is, Ursula mentions how he admitted to her that he has spoken to over 400 women. Over 400 women during his time of being Lucas, and that he sees all of them as just being an experiment. Like, I don't even have 400 people in my phone, so I have no idea how this guy is keeping up all of these conversations. I mean, he must not really be keeping up all these conversations if he's blocking these women afterwards. So I'm guessing that's the way he was able to speak to so many people through all these years. Also, during this conversation, Neve gets a text from the casting director who says that there's another woman who's come forward who has a story similar to Jamie's and Ursula's.
Hey guys, hope all is well with you. We were just contacted by a woman named Sarah. She was catfished by a guy named Lucas, and we think this could be connected to the story you're currently filming.
Let's call her.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
How are you? It's Neve and Max.
Hi there.
So, someone from our casting just saw an email that you sent about this guy that you're talking to, Lucas.
Yeah, we matched on Tinder, actually. Well, we were just talking with the idea of a future relationship since he had told me that he's moving to Dallas from, I think, Missouri.
They call her, and sure enough, it's the same Lucas with the same story. You think that Zach would, like, switch up his story a little bit after all these years and all these people he's spoken with? I mean, I'm not condoning it, but you're already lying, so you might as well just have fun with it to throw people off. He also made it extremely easy for other people to corroborate stories to find him. So I just don't get why tell the same story over and over and over and over and over again. I'm not a catfish, but if I were a catfish, I would just be doing a little bit more creative and advanced lying. I don't know. I mean, it just seems like the better strategy, seems more intelligent to not tell everybody the same exact story. I don't know. That's just me. Also, by the way, please do not take my poor jokes as advice. Like, don't do that. I'm just saying, if I were a catfish, I would be doing that. And after confirming that this is Lucas and that we really have this catfish now, they ask Sarah if she'd like to join, and she agrees. The more, the merrier.
Am I the only one who woke up this morning and realized how what we're doing is kind of crazy?
I don't think any of it seems quite real to me yet, but second, like, we pull up to a house.
That's when we're both gonna be probably nervous.
It is confrontation day and everyone is prepping to meet Zach. Now, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but isn't this like the first instance we have where the Catfish crew go out to the city of the Catfish without even meeting them first? Like, I think this is the first instance we have that. Like, let me know if I'm wrong, please. Anyway, Neve's plan to get Zach to meet them is to take a photo with all of them and let him know that, hey, we know who you are, we're in your city, and you have the opportunity right now to come clean about all of this.
Brandon, will you take this picture? Sure. Max, let's just go behind them.
Channel your anger through your eyes.
Hey, Zach, aka Lucas. This is Neve from the MTV show Catfish. I'm sure you've heard of it. As you can see, I'm here with Sarah, Ursula, and Jamie, who you have been lying to. We're here in Missouri and are willing to offer you an opportunity to come clean and explain yourself in person. We suggest you agree to meet us today, face to face, to give us your side of the story.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, while we wait for Zach, why don't we take a little break and we'll see what he says.
And Zach, being Zach, he responds in the worst way possible that you could to being found out about being a catfish.
Uh-oh. All right. Well, I just got a text back. Oh my God. It's like hard to even say it.
What is it? What is it?
His response was, great picture, smiley face. I'm at my parents' house this weekend. You can meet me here.
Also, I want to add this part in because I feel like it's so important not only to this episode, but it perfectly encapsulates the thesis for the entire show of Catfish.
Let's go confront this guy.
My name's Courtney. I met Lucas a few months ago on Tinder.
My name is Lana.
Kayla.
Avery.
Sonia.
My name's Annalicia.
I met Lucas about 5 months ago.
We talked constantly.
He seemed like a really sweet guy.
Kind, loving. He wanted to move to Wisconsin to be with me. He was going to move to Sweden.
I know he was lying to me.
I just feel like a fool.
I hope you guys find him and he gets what he deserves.
Not for nothing, pointing out the obvious, catfishing is wrong. I mean, we all know that, right? Not only because you're lying to so many people, including yourself, but because you're talking to real people who are putting themselves out there. Vulnerability is a scary thing, and I will touch back on that once we formally meet Zach. They pull up to Zach's parents' home. I just want to clarify and point out that they're going to his parents' home. And I'm not saying this as like a dig at him, because a lot of people live with their parents. I live with mine. But like, he's doing all of this, potentially putting them at risk for anything. Because what if one of these people that he catfished decided, oh, okay, well, I'm going to find out where you live at and do something to you, which I don't think ever crossed his mind. But it's just, you're doing all this stupid while under your parents' roof. It just seems really foolish to me. He comes out and he starts explaining why he did all this and who he is.
As you guys knew me as Lucas, I'm Zach. It's my real name. This all started just over a year ago. I was curious about someone who was as attractive as Lucas, the kind of reception they would get on Tinder versus Zach, myself. I started to really enjoy the attention I was getting from people I'd never gotten attention from before, and that, to me, was something I'd never experienced, and I was really happy about that.
I've talked about insecurities before and how they tend to rear their ugly heads in situations like this, especially in a show like Catfish, but this is overkill. He also confirms that he has spoken to over 400 women, and he points out that he recognizes it was wrong, but he just couldn't stop himself, which I just think is a bucket of bullshit. It's a bunch of cap. I don't know how else to put that.
You start talking to these people casually, and
it's not casual talk when you have to Photoshop photos and take an hour to make a fake video. That's not casual talk. I mean, that's deliberate lying.
I recognize, like, 100% that is not okay.
So why do it if it's not okay?
At the time, I didn't think twice of it.
Have you ever hurt that bad? Like, has anybody ever crushed you?
Maybe once, twice.
Well, it's happened to me a lot. I didn't need somebody else to come along and manipulate me and take time away from my kids and my family.
Okay, this is where I want to echo back the point I was making earlier about vulnerability. It's scary whether you're meeting someone new or you've even known someone for a while to just open up and put yourself out there. Because when you do that, you're opening yourself up to things that could potentially hurt you, whether intentional or unintentional. In Zach's case, it seems like he's tried to form meaningful relationships with people and it just didn't work out. Or even it could be that he has been rejected numerous of times. And I understand it. Rejection is very hard and it sucks. But to internalize that rejection and use it as a form of manipulation and a weapon to hurt people who've never done anything to you, that's just on levels of unhinged that I could never understand, and I kind of don't want to.
Are you thinking of the impact of your actions when you do these things?
Honestly, no. You know, like, that's the selfish part. Because I haven't really had the opportunity. Possibly wanted to say.
Not about having the opportunity.
Yeah,
it's about just doing it.
Yeah.
He said he wanted to address the fact that he has asked for nudes from all of these women, but he gives the dumbest explanation that he could possibly ever give.
There were a lot of lines that you crossed. Soliciting naked photos from them was a huge line that you crossed.
Okay, and I'd like to address that.
Yeah, address that.
Please
yes.
address that.
Yeah. I can't just stand here and say, like, that wasn't interesting, because that was. But that wasn't the point. That's, I think, like,
what do you
that's
do with the
kinda
photos? Are they on, like, on your computer
in
and file folders with Lisa, Jan, Steph,
Ursula?
Do you save them? Because I'm betting money that you do.
Also, this weirdo was recording their entire conversation for whatever reason.
I really have a hard time believing you delete photos.
Yeah.
You guys can look if you want.
Do you have your phone on you?
Yeah.
Well, let's look at the phone. Let's start with the phone.
Hold on.
Are you deleting stuff right now?
No, I'm not. I'm scrolling back and forth.
Here, we know how to scroll through a phone.
Yeah. Okay.
Here, just give me a
I would normally say your privacy would be something I'd care about, but in this case, That's weird. You're
We
recording.
didn't have any.
Yeah, our conversation, yeah.
Oh.
You're recording all this?
Are you kidding me?
That's so up.
He thought Neve wasn't going to go through his phone, but Neve ended up finding that he kept the photo somewhere in his Google Drive. I'll let Neve explain it.
I'm finding some stuff on your phone.
Okay, I didn't like scrutinize like.
Yeah, no, but I know enough about how to keep things private to know to look in your Google Drive. Which you probably didn't think I was going to go into. I found one list that you keep in your Google Drive, list of girls. Jamie in parentheses next to it says Portland former Playboy model. And then you have a status list underneath. And for Megan, it says on the level of saying, I love you, lives in Vegas, doesn't know she's being catfished. Lauren, also on the level of saying, I love you, lives in Palm Springs, I think, doesn't know she's being catfished. Deborah, been talking for a while, she lives in Illinois, wants to meet Lucas badly. Watch out for that subject. Doesn't know she's being catfished.
I just don't understand the need to behave like this, especially when your behavior and the image you're putting out is going to be seen and broadcasted to thousands of people across the nation.
It's not that you're overcome with guilt by the sheer pain and embarrassment that you're causing these girls. It's about the fact that, oh, you don't want to just get into a relationship that you know you're going to have to end. None of it had to do with I'm hurting a lot of people, and that makes me feel terrible inside.
I thought that was because it's obvious that I'm hurting these people, and I know that.
It's obvious that you're hurting these people, but it's not.
What's not obvious is that you care about that.
Honestly, I don't think you even have feelings. That's how I feel.
All right, so we'll just be in touch and let you know about maybe meeting back up.
Thanks, guys.
All right, see you later.
Miss you all.
Oh, like a playful, was that a playful remark? Did you just completely forget everything we just said to you about you, like, appearing like a total shit?
But I have to say it makes sense because this is probably the most attention he's ever gotten in his life up to this point. When they meet him the next day, he's sounding like he's remorseful about his actions, but the mask quickly comes off when he's confronted about his behavior and how he's talking to everyone.
Express myself in a way that was necessarily 100% respectful to the situation and to these women. It's disgusting. It's perverted. What I did. I will admit to that.
To know that, like, it wasn't even the person that it was supposed to be.
Why are you smiling? You have no emotions whatsoever. Well, it's like you're scripted, dead ass. It's like you're scripted.
Right.
Like, I'm going to talk like this for the rest of this. Like, that's you.
Okay. You know, what I was saying has been what I think you guys want to hear.
Honestly, I'm glad he dropped the facade because it's no reason to waste people's time when you don't even give a shit about what you did to them.
Yeah.
There were certain things that I don't feel sorry for. There was a point where I think I had feelings for each and every one of you. I did definitely take advantage of some of you guys over the phone, okay?
So you do feel something.
I do feel something.
So what are you not sorry about?
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, like, is it really a need to be upset about me lying? Is there a need to dwell over it for hours? That, I think, is childish.
I'm good. I don't want to waste my time.
Yeah.
You guys have fun with him.
A way for Zach to stop pretending to be Lucas, Neve and Max made him take a photo and post it to his Instagram so he could reveal himself to all of the women who are following him and essentially let out the secret of who he's been this entire time.
All right, so I'm just gonna take a photo of you.
You want to communicate that you're sorry. Change the profile pic. He has to be the one to press send, Neve.
Send the same message. Okay.
As they do the follow-up, Jamie seems like she's moved on from the situation and she's doing much better. She says she's focusing on her kids more and just trying to live life.
I'm at the point where it's like my kids are so little, so focusing on them is really just my priority right now.
You do you, Jamie.
Right.
I'm glad to hear everything's going well.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Keep in touch.
Yeah, bye.
Bye, guys.
They also check up on Zach and he has a different look and he said that he's moved on from pretending to be Lucas.
Oh, Mr. Haircut.
I did get a haircut, thank you.
Well, so what was the response to the posts that we put up?
Some were like, oh, haha, I knew that, or like, I figured. Overall, it wasn't too bad.
So you're totally off dating sites and no more Lucas anything?
Yeah, no more Lucas anything. I don't miss all my time being consumed and having to have a story for everything. I'm relieved to be free of that.
I know the title of this video is a little harsh to say about Zach, but it's really because he just was not portraying his best self in this episode. My one hope is that he actually did stop catfishing and he has gotten the help that he needs, because clearly something was going on in his life to make him do all that to all these women. I just want to say, Zach, if you really have stopped, I applaud you for getting better and becoming a better person, because what you were doing was totally unacceptable. And I really hope that you never go back to doing that again. But as I say that, I also want to highlight and not take attention away from the woman that he hurt while he was catfishing as Lucas. I really hope that this episode serves as a reminder to him to never inflict that kind of pain, confusion, and manipulation onto people ever again. And I hope that the woman that Zach catfished are just living their best lives. I hope that they're having fulfilling relationships. I hope that they're having meaningful relationships with people around them, and that they are able to look back at this and maybe laugh at it just over the sheer absurdity that it is. This episode really lives up there as one of Catfish's most memorable. I mean, it's not every episode we get a catfish crew sting operation, a guy who's catfished over 400 people, and even Max working the pole. I feel like the one person who might have beat him with speaking to that many people is Ashley, who catfished over 3,000 people, I think.
How many profiles do you think you've had since you were 12?
3,000. 3,000?
Wow. 3,000.
Yeah, that is today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like if you did, and comment about this episode, or comment some more episodes you want me to check on. I like receiving recommendations about things I should make videos about, so please do that if you do have an idea you'd like to share. I've been gone for a minute, but I hope not to be gone that long again. I was just really busy with school. I was making films. I'm a filmmaker. Yeah, but anyway, please like, comment, share the video if you want to as well, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.